Hello and howdy folks, we are back and we are looking at continuing with our Three Truths and a Lie interactive Tinker version. We have on our program our three truth icons or actors that we added in the last step, truth, 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 and our one lie. Now at this point what we're going to try to do is add our descriptions, our actual statements. What are our three truths and what is our one lie? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to our Google Drive in our coding and robotics file folder. And once again, we're going to create a new Google drawing. This is going to be very similar, although just slightly more complicated than what we did before in adding the truth and lie actors. So we're going to go to New, down here to More. We're going to open up a brand new Google drawing. We're going to create our truth and lie statements one at a time. And so I want you to pick one in your head. The one that I'm going to be working on is the one that says, I enjoy playing guitar and I once even won a guitar in a songwriting contest. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look for an image that relates to that statement. So for me, that's going to be a guitar. So once again, I'm going to use the research option within Google Drawings. So I'm going to go to Tools, Research. I'm going to change right over here from our Google to Images, and I'm going to type guitar. And I'm going to find a guitar that I like. Let's see, I don't want an electric guitar. I play mostly acoustic, so I'll go with this one, and I'm going to drag it into my drawing canvas. It will quickly create that image, and I am going to move it up to the upper left-hand corner of my canvas. Now I don't want this image to be too small, so I'm going to resize it. I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger, maybe right about there. Okay, so I've got an image of a guitar right over here, but I also need a space to write my information. So for that, we need to create what's called a text box. And the text box icon is right up here. It's the little T with a square around it. We're going to click that, and once we take our cursor down into the canvas, it's going to change to those crosshairs. And I'm going to do a click and drag to create a rectangle right next to my picture that expands all the way over to the right side of the canvas. Then I'm going to release my mouse button, and it's going to create a box that I can type some text into. Now it's going to default to a 14 size font right up here in our toolbar. That is much too small. I recommend that we go to 36, maybe even 48 size on our font. I'm going to go to 36, and I am going to type out my statement. I enjoy playing guitar. I once even won a guitar in a songwriting contest. Okay, that looks great, but what I don't like is the fact that it is way up top here. It's not really centered well with the guitar. So I'm going to put my cursor right up at the very beginning. I'm going to hit enter just a couple times so that it centers a little better. That looks a lot better. The last thing I want to change is, once again, I have all this white space at the bottom, and that's really bad formatting. So I'm going to click down here into my canvas, get my little triangle at the bottom here. I'm going to click that, and I am going to drag it so that it is more like the size of that guitar image, leaving a little bit of padding at the bottom because that looks good. Let go, and all that white space is gone. My changes have been saved, and now I need to give that a name, guitar. It's going to save it for me, and I want to once again download that as a JPEG, and you're going to put that in your coding and robotics file. Alright, it is now downloaded, and I'm going to go back to my Tinker project. Okay, so here I am back at the Tinker project that we set up earlier with all of my truths and my one lie. What we want to do is take the description that we just created and we want to add it as a new actor. So just like we did before, I'm going to click on Add Actor. I'm going to choose my little upload a file button, and for you, hopefully, this is going to be in your coding and robotics file. For me, I have my images right here in its own separate file, and I'm going to choose the guitar image that we just created. And wow, it's going to import right there into the middle of my screen. It's huge and it's not where I want it. The good news is, as we know, we can grab and drag our image all over the place, and although they're really hard to see, there are these tiny little handles on the edges of our image, and I'm going to grab one in the very corner, and I'm going to shrink down by clicking and dragging my image so that when I move it, it's going to fit right over one of my truth images, so that if this actor were to disappear, for example, which is exactly what we're going to do in a few minutes, then the answer truth would be revealed. So we're going to size our description appropriately, place it right on top of either truth or lie, whichever is appropriate, and you're going to do that for all 4 of your descriptions. Okay, so here is your instructions, your outline. You can go ahead and pause the video here. This is your task to complete for this step of the process. Good luck, and let me know if I can help you out.